Hi there, Sagar. How are you?
Hi Rakesh, how are you?
Yeah, I'm
I'm
good. Thank you.
good.
Yeah, thank you for asking. Okay, great. Okay, so can you tell us something about yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Dayas Sagar, and I have completed B CSC from Shivaji University, Kolhapur. And right now I'm working at Infosys since 3 years and 3 months. And uh, after I joined Infosys, I've started working in two domains: banking and in investment banking and automation. Sorry, telecom billing. So during my career, I worked in both domains, and currently I'm working in banking domain as also I used to use SQL queries as well. My roles and responsibilities uh, are requirement analysis, test scenario, identification, prepare test cases. Also, I participate in client meetings, test case execution, and during this I use HPLF tool.
Okay, great. Mhm. Okay. So let's say if you are given some application, mobile-based application of investment banking domain to test. So what would be the high-level test scenarios for the same?
High level test scenarios for banking domain.
Mhm.
Um, First, I will go for a logging page. So I will check all the. I will check if username is able. A user is able to enter username. User is able to enter password correct, and the URL is working. That button is jumping to other page. The focus is working. So validation part I will do first.
Mhm. Okay. Then apart from that,
Apart from that, after that, I will after the validation and verification, I will start working on requirement document. I will prepare document from based on the BA,
Mhm.
and I will write test case design,
Mhm.
and I will start working on testing.
Okay, fine. So let's say if this question is asked to you in a real-time interview, what are the high-level test scenarios, right? So you have to tell the test scenarios from all the front, like functional testing point of view, non-functional testing point of view. Then, uh, then with respect to various roles and permissions, let's say if it's an investment banking domain, so there will be a kind of a person who will be an admin, or who will be an agent, who would be a broker, who would be a normal person, who would be signing in on his behalf. So which are the various pages, which are the various features, functionality that they might be having access, right? And as it's an investment banking domain, so for example, if someone is purchasing some mutual funds, some stocks, so accordingly, if the brokerage charge is getting deducted or not, then you will be verifying if some particular XYZ stock has been purchased. So that XYZ stock has been, credited into your respective account or not. So these kind of scenarios you can tell. Then in case of non-functional testing, you can tell scenarios like at a time, how many users are able to use this particular application, and as it's a mobile based application, so what happens if someone is calling at the same time when you were about to click on the button of purchasing stocks, or when the amount was getting deducted from your mobile. So or what if the internet goes away? So these are negative test scenarios, so those also you can cover, right? So,
Yes, got.
yeah, so whenever someone asks you about test scenarios, so try to give the answer into a detailed manner, right? Okay, so this is fine. Now, okay, now you have been performing database testing, right? So can you tell me the possible test scenarios that a tester needs to test when a database is getting migrated from one SQL server to another?
Actually, Rakesh, yes, I used database testing, but I worked on only crude operations, basic create, retrieve, update, and delete
Mhm.
functions. And
Okay,
I did their integration testing and that part only security based.
okay, okay. So you did security testing.
Yeah, not database testing as a database tester, but I used simple queries to fetch the data that I will need to filter it, I use the SQL join commands.
Okay, join commands. Okay, fine. So let's say if this question is asked to you in a real-time interview, like the possible test scenarios that you would be testing when a database gets migrated from one SQL server to another. So you will be considering the various scenarios like what is the data type that is being used, right? Then what is the length of the server fields? Then are the database objects in the new SQL server created as expected or not? Which are the potential you can say vulnerabilities that are there in the newly migrated environment. So you will be conducting a stress testing on the new SQL server. Then you will be performing CRUD operations as well to test whether now all our objects or all our data is getting saved into that particular SQL database or not, right? So this kind of answer you can give. Okay, so you have,
Actually, power got cut here. Can I put my another bulb, charging bulb?
yeah, sure, sure. Oh, so you were telling something about joins, right? So which are the various types of joins in SQL?
There are left join, right join, inner join, and outer join,
Mm-hmm.
and full outer join.
Right. So
In
can
the
you
inner
give?
join,
Yeah, please go ahead.
yeah, in inner join we can fetch matching data in both the tables. In left join we can fetch data from left table as well as matching data from right table. And in right join we can fetch right table, whole right table along with matching data from table one. And full outer join we can fetch data from both the tables.
Mhm. Okay. So what is the difference between GUI testing and database testing?
Sorry,
What is the difference
GO,
between
GUI.
GUI testing, yeah, and database testing?
GUI testing can be done on front end on page itself, where we need to check the graphics of the page, all the buttons, all the images, running images.
Mm,
Those are performing correct as per as we ensure that it should be performed
mm,
in that way. And database testing is done on back end, where we need to check all the inputs are coming from front end, are going correctly in correct place, and back end. That is, yes, that is it.
mm. Okay. Now let's say you are given some application in which the RTGS transfer or NEFT transfer, and you can transfer money via UPI banking as well, right? So it's a payment domain kind of an application, right? So can you tell me high level test scenarios for this application?
Yeah, sure. While doing RTGS, we need to test, as you said, initially high level test is, and you need to explain that part. That part I can repeat. Uh, Yeah, so there we need to do the integration testing, combine the main model. First, test the main model as per top to down approach, and then go for integration the sub models on front end and test sub models. Then once the build is ready for release, we can do review finally.
Right. Okay. So you would be testing the various test scenarios like you will be transferring the amount via NEFT, then via RTGS, right? Then via UPI payment banking, right? And and you will be validating whether these scenarios are working fine or not, right?
Yes.
So apart from this, you can also do negative testing. Let's say if you're transferring amount from account A to B, and if in account A sufficient balance is not there, then what happens? Or in account B, when you are transferring the amount, then internet goes down, or the website goes down, or it gets crashed. So what happens at those times, right? So
Yeah.
you can tell those scenarios as well.
Yeah. Also, if user entered any negative amount,
Mm,
or if negative amount or amount in points, that shouldn't be accepted.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. Do you prepare traceability metrics?
RTM is already prepared. I need to map it from Excel to my HPLM tool.
Okay. So can you elaborate that process? Can you explain us that process? Like how do you map the test cases?
Yeah. So whenever there is a deadline is assigned and time is less, I'll go for we can say monkey testing, and that time I need to take help of RTM, and RTM will be having a bulk test cases. Those test cases I need to pull, so I will import those from Excel. In HPLM there are tabs, requirement tab. And test plan, test lab. These are the tabs in HPLM. So in that, if I want traceability matrix to be imported, then I'll go to requirement tab, and there I will choose mapping and import RTM, and it will get mapped to requirements. Testing will be mapped to requirements.
Right. Okay, great. In your CV, it is mentioned you are preparing weekly status report and DSR report. So what is the difference between weekly status report and DSR report?
Weekly status, when we do weekly review as well, that we discuss the what are the challenges, what went well, what went wrong, that we discuss there, and how much time is still pending to sprint. And in SRS, you said SRS, right?
DSR report.
Yes,
weekly
sir.
Status report and DSR report.
Daily sprint, you are saying, daily status. The frequency of DSR is, as it is named, it is daily, and the frequency for it's 2 weeks. And in daily, its time can be 2 hours, 3 hours, and we discuss what we did in whole day, how many test cases written, how many executed, and how many defects are logged. That we discuss in DSR. And review, when the all testing is done, the build is ready for release, and the testing is completed. Then we discuss, the meeting will be there for discussing the build release sprint.
Okay. So
sprint is ready.
Okay. So this build release, how is this related to weekly status report and daily status report?
In daily, we discuss how much time is we have for the sprint, for the build release. So that is discussed in daily status.
Okay. So when you are sending this daily status report to your reporting manager, so you are writing all these activities, responsibilities, or build status activities also in that report.
Yes.
But don't you think as a tester, do we need to tell in our daily status report what is the build status? That can be reported by the development team, right? Or the DevOps team who would be working on that build preparation and release activities.
Yes. We need to, status should be included.
Okay, so that status you have to include. Okay, so your responsibilities are you are interacting with business analysts for requirement analysis and participate in daily Scrum, sprint planning, review, retrospective meeting as a part of Agile process. Okay. Now, tell me one such incident or one such scenario where you had a discussion with business analyst and there was a change in the requirement made from the testing perspective.
Yeah, that happens. Last hour changes we get that one of challenge we face concurrently and repeatedly. So at that time, we have to do retesting, regression testing again, because it's last hour and we have less time.
Okay.
So we need to extend and we need to work on that change we received and plan accordingly. We need to gather informations, and again we need to write plan design. Yeah.
Okay. What is service level testing?
So service-based testing, we can say alpha testing as well. That can be done on service-based. When end user, or you can say user customers, are not involved in that environment, that can be done. Alpha testing can be done. Developers and tester both are working there, and it will be done on application end. Yeah.
Okay. So you are working as an individual contributor in your team, or there are some people who are reporting to you and together you are working as a team?
I'm working together as a team.
Okay. Okay. So how many people are reporting to you?
I'm working together. No people reporting to me.
Okay. Okay. So you are okay. Fine. Okay. So this is your personal details. Okay. So just wanted to update this one thing. In your date of birth, the year that you have mentioned is 1086, right? Just change it to your appropriate year. Okay. So that thing you can update in your CV as well. So I was just going through your CV. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I will update.
What is the difference between test case design and test case execution?
We need to write the design when we receive build and it is not ready for testing. We just received the high level information about the build. That time and we need to design. Execution can be done once we're done with smoke testing. All the information and all the analysis is done. Then we need to go for the execution of the test cases.
What is performance testing, and have you got an opportunity to do performance testing?
Yeah, performance testing I had done. We need to check behavioral of build, how it is performing. In behavioral, we need to perform abnormal behavioral. We need to check as well by applying negative testing as per human tendency. And we need to also check their boundary level and partitioning level as well, testing as well, boundary level testing and ACP as well.
So in performance testing, basically you will be doing load plus stress testing, right? You will be applying a load. Let's say if you are testing a login screen, you will be testing with, for example, 100 users, 200 users, 300 users, and you will be calculating, you will be analyzing the time taken as or the response of the application, right? So
yeah, load will be get increased.
Right. So accordingly, you can give this answer. Load testing or stress testing you will be doing as a part of performance testing. Okay. So that you will be doing. Okay, you are using Jira as well. Okay. So can you tell me step-by-step procedure of how will you create an issue in Atlassian Jira tool?
Actually, right now I'm using HPLM. Earlier, I used to use Jira. I don't know much, but a little bit I know that we need to write name of name first, then go for a description.
Okay.
In HPLM, I can explain a little bit.
Okay, fine. So in the Jira, first of all, you will have a project field, right? in which project you are creating an issue that you need to select from the drop down, right? Then issue type, what is the issue type, whether it is bug or if you feel it's kind of an enhancement, you can create an enhancement as well over there, kind of a new feature. Then there comes a summary field. In a summary field, you will be mentioning the one line title of the issue, right? So that anyone who reads the summary, he can get an idea on a high level what is the defect amount. Then you will be having a reporter field, right? So that automatically your name would be popping up over there. Then you have a description field. Then you have multiple fields about affect version, fixed version, right? So affect version is the current build version of the project in which the issue has been encountered, while fixed version would be selected by the developer who would be fixing that particular defect, so that tester can know in which particular build or release that defect fix is going to come. Then priority is there, right? Then attachment field, environment fields are there, right? In which environment you have found this issue. So that is that. Okay, now you can tell how will you create a defect step by step in HPLM?
Yeah, sure. In HPLM, the last tab or component we can say is defect, where we need to write summary first, summary of defect initially, and then mandatory fields we need to choose, such as detected by the name of tester, detected on date, detected on version of that build, and assigned to name of developer, and priority and severity we need to choose. Status we need to choose if it is new or closed or open. We need to choose status. And selecting these all mandatory fields, we need to choose, we need to write description there. And in description, the important part we need to write is steps to reproduce. And steps to reproduce will be the information for coder that what went wrong there. And by reading steps to reproduce, he can write code again.
Right. Okay. What are the various authorization methods that are provided by Postman?
Postman as well, I have not used.
Okay. See, so I'll give you one suggestion. See, in the technical skills in the first page of your CV, it is mentioned you have idea of these tools,
Yes.
HPALM, SQL, Jira, Postman, right? So if you have a knowledge on a thorough level, like if you're confident in a real-time interview that you can answer questions on these tools, so mention these tools over there, because anyone who will go through your CV will definitely ask questions on these things, right? So
Yes.
it will be giving a wrong impression if you don't know. Let's say even if you would not have been using it in your current project, but then still you should have some basic idea, because your CV will actually reflect of to the interviewer what kind of knowledge and what all knowledge of on different tools and technologies you have, right?
Yeah.
So that is fine. In the manual testing skills also, you have mentioned database testing. So I was asking questions on database testing, right? So please take care of these things in the real-time interview, right? Okay. So that's just fine. Okay, there, Sagar. I'm done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
No, Rakesh. Thank you for taking my interview.
Yeah, thank you so much, and all the best for your career. Right? Do share interview questions with us, and once you get selected in any company, do share success story also with us. It would be great.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.